In this episode of Hustleburg, we'll be talking with Madison Blake from Maddie's Cakes in Treasure Island.
I won't be defined by your dreams, committed to my goals, yeah. Gotta do my own thing, keep up the hustling. I won't be defined by your dreams, committed to my goals, yeah. Gotta do my own thing.
Hi, welcome to Hustleburg. Thank you for sharing your time with us as we chat with entrepreneurs and small business owners here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We talk about how they got started, how they built their business, and how they serve our community. I'm Brett Bittner, and I'm the host of Hustleburg. And I started Beyond Your Side Hustle because I found that most entrepreneurs lack the time and expertise to build themselves a digital marketing strategy that gets results. At Beyond Your Side Hustle, we help you craft an awesome strategy to stand out from the competition and build a community that supports your business today and in the future. We help budding entrepreneurs go beyond their side hustle into the business they're dreaming of. As the founder of a small business here in St. Pete myself, I love meeting and talking with fellow business owners about what they do. Now, you may have noticed a few changes with the podcast lately, and one of the biggest is that we're now doing video. So if you're only listening to this episode, whether it's on your favorite podcast player, radiostpete.com, or Sunshine 96.7 FM, please note that this episode and all future episodes are available on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. Visit beyondyoursidehustle.com/YouTube to subscribe or to watch Hustleburg. And if you find anything of value in this episode, I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. If you would, also please rate and review the episode as well. It sends us the right signals about knowing how the conversations added value for you. If you are interested in being a guest in an upcoming episode, and you own a business here in St. Pete or somewhere else nearby on this side of the bay, please let us know by visiting beyondyoursidehustle.com/podcast guest. So, Madison, why baking cakes?
It's always been a hobby ever since I was a child. Both my grandmothers taught me how to cook and bake, and it just grew and grew. And so I thought maybe it would be a good side hustle.
Okay, so you mentioned side hustle. When we talked before the episode, you mentioned that this is one. Why are you starting slow in that way versus jumping in with both feet?
I think during this whole global pandemic time, it was a good time to start something because I could keep it contactless. But I think starting slow helps you understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you want to do it, and it gives you, again, the time to figure all that out instead of, okay, I have to jump right in and I need to figure this all out today.
So you're still of the mind that you can start slow.
Absolutely, slow and steady. But I will say it kind of has taken off much faster than I anticipated. So I am having to learn things a little bit quicker than I anticipated.
So what kind of products are you baking? Obviously it's cakes because it's Maddie's Cakes, but what are the kind of cakes that you're making? Are we looking at wedding cakes? Are we looking at birthday cakes? Is it ice cream cakes? How does this work for you?
So I think the cool thing about Maddie's Cakes is everything can be custom. Everything's made to order because, like I said, it's a side hustle. It's not you walk into a grocery store and you pick something off the shelf. So we do have that customization option for all of our customers. They can say, I want an ice cream cake and I want this flavor and this filling, or I want an ice box cake with these cookies and this topping. Everything is customizable. So I think that's pretty cool.
So you mentioned that it was your grandmother that kind of taught you how to bake. How was it that you came about doing this, that you were baking for others instead of just for yourself? Is there any kind of special background that you have other than just family recipes and knowing how to bake? And why did you create a business around it?
So that is the only training I have. I never went to culinary school, none of that kind of stuff. So it's very self-taught, family taught. And the whole reason I started it was because I was bringing things to family dinners and somebody had something, was like, wow, this is really awesome. And I was kind of bored during this pandemic being home. I was like, I need to do something else besides my regular job, which keeps me home. I need to be out with people, but safely. And it just kind of fell into my lap. We talked about it for a while, and then I just kind of took the leap.
So, what is it that's unique about Maddie's Cakes that sets you apart from some of the other bakers that are here in the St. Pete area?
That's a really good question. So I think it's because, like I said, everything's made to order, but you don't have to go anywhere. It's all local delivery because, again, keeping with that contactless nature of things, you can just call and say, hey, I want to send this to somebody for their birthday. I haven't seen them. And it's no problem. You pay contactlessly, you order contactlessly, it's delivered contactlessly. So I think that's really unique because that's the way of the world now.
Now, when you talk about it being delivered contactlessly, are you doing that, or are you outsourcing the delivery through something like Uber Eats or Bite Squad, or even the package delivery service Roadie to get the cakes from you to your end eater?
So it's just me. I
Okay.
try to reduce the amount of people all across the board, because people are concerned about that. How many people are touching my box, my bag, my food? So it's just me. That's why we need like at least a day or two advance ordering, because we do have to work those logistics of what do you want? We need to make it, and then where does it need to go?
So, as you look at the entirety of the time that you've been operating Maddie's Cakes, what is the most important lesson that you've learned at this point in your entrepreneurial journey?
Ask as many questions to your customer as you can think of. I don't like to not meet expectations. So the more questions you ask, the better off you're going to be. So you might think you're sounding annoying by asking that one or two extra question, but it's worth it. So ask questions, ask questions, ask questions.
It sounds like you might have something that you could share with us about a time where you didn't ask enough and you ended up having to go back to ask more.
Yeah, so actually, I can think it's happened many times before Halloween, but that particular example, I had a salon owner. She wanted to order a couple treats for her staff for Halloween to keep it fun. And one specific item was brownies. Now, a lot of people will put walnuts in them. Thankfully, I have a really good relationship with her. So after we went through the whole order, date, time, etc., we hung up the phone, and it dawned on me like an hour later, and I was like, oh, this is for more than one person. I know she doesn't have a nut allergy, but what about
Yeah.
their staff? So I had to call her back and say, hey, is it okay if we put nuts in this? Is it not? Who has an allergy? Who doesn't? And that's something you don't always think of, but you have to be really, really careful about because, some people have more severe allergies than others.
Now, taking a look at the things that you've worked on, what are some of the most inspiring things that you've done with the community? Not just St. Pete at large, but within the bakery services community that you operate in.
So I think overall, I had a very, very comfortable upbringing. We were always taught give back whenever you can. So when I started this, it was late July. So I was gathering myself in July, August, and September. But then when October came, I was like, okay, I've gotten myself situated here, here, and here. I want to start doing something for our community. So what I started was I'm going to pick a customer every month. And if they have something going on that I can donate to or volunteer to, that's what I want to do, regardless of what it is. So in October, I actually had a customer. Her business was doing a Women for Women drive. So like toiletries, that kind of thing, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste. And it was a drive. And I was like, hey, I want to start doing something at least once a month. Can I donate to this? And she obviously is the best and said, absolutely. So I'm trying to get that going. You know, today, November is the second month. So we'll see what happens this month.
Awesome. Now, what are the things that you're doing from an advertising or marketing perspective that's helping you to build your brand to serve St. Pete the cakes that you bake?
So we have Instagram, Facebook. I love to do podcasts. This is actually my second one, but with local people. So like yourself, we did another one with DuPont Registry, Tampa Bay. I try to steer away from the traditional like advertising flyers and marketing tools. They're great, but again, trying to limit the things that I'm touching and giving to other people. So this is something that can pop up on your phone. We're doing Instagram ads, word of mouth. That's obviously huge. Reviews, anything that's digital, because you know we all have our phones.
Right.
So anything that we can do that way.
Now, in your wildest dreams, where is it that you see taking Maddie's Cakes? And what is it that you're doing to get you there?
I have huge goals. If I had my way, I would be the next Sprinkles, you know?
All right.
Franchise out everywhere. That would be so cool. I can honestly like see it now. Again, small now, want to be big, but I think right now taking the steps of just trying to like build a small brand, especially in this community, because I think once you get your community behind you, you know, you can expand further and further and further. So right now doing that, and also just cracking down on recipes. Obviously I have, you know, the ones that I do all the time, but I love when somebody asks me for something that I don't have a recipe for. So I have to come up with that, figure it out, and then perfect it. So just kind of building the list.
All right, building the list, building the recipe book. Are you a native of St. Pete?
I guess you could say I grew up in Bel Air, so it's just, you know, a couple minutes north, but Pinellas County for sure.
Okay. Now, when you aren't working and you aren't baking cakes, what are some of your favorite things to do in and around town?
So I love the beach. I live on Treasure Island. We don't go as often as I'd like to, but we're definitely on the boat very often. So it's a nice time to decompress. And
Sure.
I love being so close to downtown St. Pete because there's so many new restaurants and bars. I'm a huge foodie. So trying those out, letting people know like, hey, this place is new. It's really great. Or, you know, this has a great atmosphere. You should try it, that kind of thing.
So, are there any upcoming events or activities that you're taking part in 2021 that you'd like to make sure the Hustleburg community definitely puts a pin in and adds to their calendars?
So Localtopia is really cool. It happens every year. I was way too new. I wasn't comfortable yet to like try to get into that this year, but that's something I really would love to do next year. And there's also something called Dessert Wars Tampa. They have them all over the place where Tampa's getting it in 2021. So that would be really cool if we could secure a spot there. They haven't started that quite yet. I'm not too sure. Things got a little bit weird, you know, with all the events. We were supposed to do one in, gosh, I can't remember the name. Brooksville, sorry. There was a little market, but that got moved around, you know, so it's kind of a shuffling thing. So working through that too.
So where is it that people can find out more about Maddie's Cakes and connect with you? We're looking for your website, social media handles, and the like to make sure that the Hustleburg audience is able to find out more about you. And the good news is for viewers and for listeners of this episode, it will be in the show notes for you to just click right away and connect to Maddie's Cakes.
Yeah, so the Instagram handle is mad_4_cake, FOR, not the number 4. We also have a Facebook page. It's Maddie's Cakes. It's like a light pink icon, the same as our Instagram. We also have an Etsy store. So if you want to ship something to someone far away, you can do that. Order through there, or you can order through DM. Email, phone number. We can put all the links in the notes. There's lots of
fantastic
to learn more.
Well, before we go, is there anything that you want to share with the Hustleburg community about Maddie's Cakes or about St. Pete in general?
Just be on the lookout. DM me if you want to order. You can try anything you want, and I really appreciate you having me today.
Oh, thank you very much for being a guest, and I look forward to seeing what happens with Maddie's Cakes.
Thank you.
Hey, you did it. You've just listened to Hustleburg. If we provided you with something of value with this podcast, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast player, especially you Apple Podcast listeners. This is something that only takes a few seconds, and it will help us shine the spotlight on all the great businesses that St. Pete has to offer and grow the Hustleburg community. Speaking of great businesses here in St. Pete, if you're a small business owner and you'd like to share the story of your business with the Hustleburg community, please let us know by visiting beyondyoursidehustle.com/podcastguest. Did you know that at Beyond Your Side Hustle, we're helping small business owners reach ideal engagement on any social media platform with a free 3-week training by email? It's available at beyondyoursidehustle.com/3weeks. Start right now to learn how you can fix your feed to better serve you, start engaging on social the right way, and create a community around you and your business. The opening music in this episode is Defining Your Dreams by my friend Rhymer Educator. I encourage you to check him out on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to great music. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to continuing to share with you how we do business in the Burg.